Next case is to find the electric field due to infinitely long uniform charge line. In the figure, this is the uniformly charged line which has positive charge and it has the linear charge density lambda. It means it is the charge per unit line. Lambda is linear charge density. And there is a point P which is at a distance r, and we have to find the electric field at the point P. From symmetry, we can check that if we take an elementary charge of the charge line, and due to this charge, if we check the field and make the component of this elementary field, there are the two components. One is perpendicular to the line, say this angle is theta, dE cos theta, which is along the angle theta, and another component will be dE sin theta. And by symmetry, we can see if we take another element, charge element at the same distance from the point, say O, this element will also has a elementary field dE, and it also contributes dE cos theta, and another component is dE sin theta. Here we can see that dE sin theta components are in opposite directions, so they will cancel out because electric field is a vector quantity. Contribution of a charge element is dE sin theta towards the electric field. Therefore, we can say the magnitude of the electric field is dE cos theta, which is constant for a point which is at a distance r, and direction is perpendicular to the charge line. So using this symmetry of the electric field, we can use the Gauss law to find the electric field at the point P due to the infinite charge line. Gauss law is integral E dot ds, this is the flux through the surface, equal to the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface and divided by the epsilon naught. So to find the, we have to draw the Gaussian surface, and this dotted line is the Gaussian surface which is cylindrical in nature. It is cylindrical. The length of the cylinder is L and radius of the cylinder is R. Therefore, there are the three surfaces for the cylinder. These are, one is this circular portion, and direction of the area will be outward, perpendicular to the plane and outward. Similarly, another surface is lower circular area that has the direction downward and perpendicular to the plane. Suppose this area is A1 of the upward circular plane and downward circular plane has the area A2. And third surface is the cylindrical surface, and this surface has the direction perpendicular to the surface and it is outward. So this area is A3. If we check at any point on the cylindrical surface, say this is one of the point, then here area will also outward and perpendicular to the plane, and field is in direction of the area. That means here electric field and the area are parallel on the cylindrical surface, while if we check at the circular surfaces, here field and area are perpendicular. Therefore, we apply Gauss law and we check there are the three areas. One is circular area E dot ds, and it is 1 circular area 1 plus integral circular area 2, which is of the bottom circle, and it is E dot ds plus integral cylindrical surface integral E dot ds, and it should be equal to the charge enclosed, and charge enclosed will is, because linear charge density is lambda and length of cylinder is L. Therefore, charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface will be charge density multiplied by the length of the rod inside the cylinder, and it will be lambda L divided by epsilon naught. Now we check the angle between the electric field and the surface areas. For surface 1, this angle is 90 degree. Surface 2, it is also again 90 degree. And for surface 3, this angle is 0 degree. The integral 1 gives E ds cos 90 degree plus integral 2, that means integral for the second surface, which is a circular surface, it also gives E ds cos 90. And remaining is the cylindrical surface, which is the third surface, it is cylindrical. And for cylindrical surface, theta is 0 degree, so we can write E ds cos 0 degree. And it is equal to lambda by L by epsilon naught. Cos 90 is 0, so this first integral is 0. Again cos 90 is 0, so second integral is also 0, and cos 0 is 1. Therefore, finally we get integral E ds equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. This is for cylindrical surface, which is the third surface. Because E is equal in magnitude at a point P, which is at a distance r, that is, for each point on the cylindrical surface, E has equal magnitude by symmetry. Therefore, this can be taken out of the integral. It remains E ds equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. And this integral is over the cylindrical surface. And cylindrical surface has the area equal to circumference is 2 pi r multiplied by the length of the cylinder. This is the surface area of cylindrical surface and it is equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. Here we check that L can be cancelled out, so E will be equal to lambda by 2 pi r epsilon naught, or we can say E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught into r.